this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for living. Make a better place for you and for me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Dumelang. How about you? Good evening. Welcome to Frank Dialogue. Thank you to each and every one of you for accepting our invitation to be here. Let's welcome the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Sihle Zikalala, our guest of honor for tonight. Sitting next to him is the chairperson of the construction SETA, who kindly sponsored this event, amongst other people. Welcome him, please. Tawo Masombo. The construction industry is is very crucial for our economy. Not only does it generate jobs, as well as, while at the same time making sure that there is a necessary infrastructure to build and grow our economy. It's quite a crucial industry, and because of its nature, anything that has to do with any kind of conflict around construction often raises eyebrows, and it becomes quite a very serious issue, because if that conflict is not resolved, it means that that means the delay of development, the delay of economic growth itself. And so, at the same time, it's one of the industries that cannot escape a spotlight on the issues of transformation. We all know that it has been a very wide male-dominated industry for a long time. While that is changing, it still has a long way to go. And so in the context of that issue of how communities have to be involved, particularly small and medium enterprises, you then have this kind of conflict where people may feel excluded, rightly or wrongly, and others may also feel bullied into giving up what is theirs. And so in a frank dialogue like this, we got to be able to dissect each one of these elements, right? And of course, when there's this kind of conflict, which is natural tensions in a changing society, there will always be a criminal element that may also creep in, or others being characterized so when they are not. So the dialogue is about to look at all these angles and say, what are the solutions? I mean, even this whole label, construction mafia, in South Africa, we've got a tendency to label things. When something is confusing, we just label it, and then we think, oh, we've solved it. We just call them mafia and get over with it, right? Is it mafia, or is it just rogue elements, or not? Maybe it's people who feel that, a big company comes, they can just see a monstrosity coming up next to them, but not a single one of their brothers who can lay bricks, was involved in that project. So they say, but this is not ours. And so there's that whole issue about community, if you like, ownership of projects. So that could be one angle to look at it. Another is to say, are we a lawless country where you see a construction site, you don't know who it is, you just go and say, hey, we want 30%, whether, Noma Ganjan. We want 30% here. Who are you? Go, toast your site and get out. Is that the kind of site you want to build, right? But the question is, how did we get to that point? People feel so excluded that they have to take it in their own hands. That dialogue must deal with those. And I hope that tonight you can, in your tables there, talk about solutions and say, what are we going to do? Because we can analyze the thing until we're paralyzed. But what are the solutions? And at the end of the day, it's in our hands. It may well be that this whole construction mafia thing, we could even characterize it as something called, a social compact gone wrong. I know that our president has been trying to draft the social compact for 2 years now. He gave himself 100 days to draft it, and we're still waiting for the draft. Maybe Minister Zikalala will tell me later, what paragraph of that social compact he contributed to. It may well be that this could be part, because social compact in the sky doesn't work. It has to be concrete. And maybe this could be part of how we start to construct that social compact. So welcome to Frank Dialogue, and I hope that you'll have a fantastic evening here, as well as, it's not a banquet. It's not a gala dinner. So on the tables, you're going to be talking about construction and the solutions and so on. There's no free dinner at all. I'm not alone. I'm with my co-facilitator, Mrs. Jessica Dube. Please welcome her. Jessica, your remarks as we begin.
My remarks as I begin. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Are we good? Good. Work was long. I know that it was a long day at work. But JJ, one thing I'm looking forward to is challenging the room to think creatively. I know you said you want us to think critically, but to come up with solutions to a problem, we have to think creatively. And there's something that stands in the way of thinking creatively. And sometimes it's feeling stiff, feeling tight, feeling tired. But this is a space where we've got homework. Prof has given us homework. Are you guys ready for your homework? Ready? Ooh, no one's smiling. Okay. JJ, you've got to help us here. Okay, so we're going to ask you guys just for a few moments to talk. And your first talk assignment is to appoint a spokesperson at your table. So your table needs a speaker of house, right? So please do not choose the most attractive person to be your spokesperson. Please do not even choose the person with the best rhetoric, because rhetoric doesn't always give the best solutions. Am I right? Am I wrong, JJ?
You're absolutely right.
There we go. So you're going to choose a spokesperson at your table, please. Also, once you've chosen a spokesperson, we need evidence that we were here at Frank Dialogue. So you're going to take a picture of your whole table together so that there was proof that you were here and that you came across solutions as a table together, you worked together, and that we're going to give all of these solutions to the minister when we are done. So let's start with our homework. Appoint a spokesperson at your table. Get talking. I know you guys can talk because when you came in, everyone was talking, everyone was mingling, everyone was networking, so I know you can talk. So please assign a spokesperson at your table now, and when you are done, take a picture together. Let's get ticking. Let's get ticking. And whenever you see me coming near your table, you must know it's time to talk. So let's get ticking. We've got 2 minutes. 2 minutes for this assignment. I already see this table is picking Liesel. That's not fair. That is not fair to pick a news anchor to be your spokesperson. Let's get ticking. Let's get going, spokespeople. Okay, we have table 9. They have a spokesperson. Who is your spokesperson? Let me come and say hi to you. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, good. So we have Itumeleng Muraba. Right, thank you for appointing your spokesperson. So all of your solutions, you will be speaking them and giving them across to us. Are there any other tables that are ready? Okay, table 1 is ready. Who is your spokesperson? Hello. Hi. Please give us your name, sir.
Bongani Dladla.
Bongani Dladla. And then, has your group taken a picture together? Okay, the selfie is loading. Okay, so congratulations to table number 1. We're moving along this side. Was there progress, spokesperson? Please give us your name, sir.
Mike Burrell.
Mike Burrell. Okay, Mike, we are looking forward to hearing the solutions from your table. And all the best. I look forward to seeing your selfie. Have you guys taken your picture together? Okay, we're going to need that picture. We're going to need that Oh, okay, table 5, table 5. Can I be in it? There we go. And who is your spokesperson? Tebogo. Hi, Tebogo, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, good. Are you excited to be the spokesperson of your table?
Oh, they forced me.
Okay, they were forced. Let's give this 30 seconds and then we need to continue. Any other tables that are done? Okay, we've got a table here that's done. Hi, how are you guys doing? Good. Yes. Let's have your name for the audience. Oh, this side, okay.
Denny Masmini.
Sir, are you excited to be the spokesperson of your table? Okay, they didn't force you. They didn't capture you. It's hard to capture you. I like that. I like that. Okay, okay, let's bring it to a close, everybody. Let's be seated, please. Let's bring it to a close and be seated once you're done with your picture. Okay, I'm going to count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, everybody. And before I hand over to JJ, I think one thing that's important to do is everyone walked into the room with expectations today. And I know that the subject matter that we are discussing is no laughing matter. It's quite serious. It threatens the economy of our country, and it threatens livelihoods, and it pushes people who are skilled in the sector away from even wanting to be in the construction industry at all. So we do understand that, but we also know that everyone came in with an expectation. So who is the spokesperson of your table? Hi, Tabo, how are you? Good. Can you stand for us, sir, and please tell us what your expectations are tonight?
Hello, everyone. Well, we came in here to come and have a serious dialogue about the seriousness about what is being termed construction mafia. And we expect to find each other as role players. Yeah. That is important. We have to find each other and have a strategy of how we best go forward. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Tabo. Anybody else? Anyone on this side? Who was your spokesperson that you nominated? Hi, how are you, sir? Good. Please stand and please let everybody know who you are and also what your expectations are tonight as a group, as a table.
Good day, everyone, or good evening. My name is Martin Sers, and I'm an alcoholic.
This is not alcohol. Wrong room, wrong room, wrong room.
Anyway, I think what I'm expecting out of this session is the expectation that we'll find a way forward. I think I was deeply hurt when I saw the publicity that this so-called construction mafia, had, and I feel that with the powers that are in, or the people that are in this room, we will find a way forward. We just need to put our heads together and think how we're going to find a way forward. Thank you.
Lovely, sir. Thank you. So far we've got finding each other and finding a way forward. JJ, I'm going to get the last expectation and hand over to you. Table 10, hi. We have a lady who's our spokesperson. Lovely. How are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Good. Please give us your name and your expectation.
My name is Melissa. The expectations of our table is to propel South African citizens forward in this era and finding a way forward, as everyone else has said.
Lovely. And is there anything that has particularly hurt you or disappointed you in the light of the evolvement of the construction mafia in the country?
Well, it's gotten a very bad rep, just generally speaking, and I think the purpose of such spaces is to change that illusion that people have of how things really are.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. JJ, as you can see, lots of expectations, and I think we are going to have quite a weighty night tonight. I don't know what you think.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think this debate has to, at some point, be brought to a point of solution. I mean, if you look at your newspapers over the last 3 or 4 weeks, there's been an article almost every day about this side was brought to a standstill, or the president is sending the army to here. It's just, it's just scary when you just look at it. And I think that we have the capacity as South Africa to bring it to a solution. And tonight we're starting that journey. Obviously, we don't think we can solve the problems of the whole world in one night. But as Miriam Makeba says, he says, let's all stand now. And for our national prayer, our national anthem, as we start this very important journey. Please be seated. As I was saying, these sort of events don't pay for themselves. Neither can they happen just by prayer. and water. So we're very grateful to the CETA, the Construction and Education Training Authority, for coming on board to be part of funding tonight. So I'm going to ask the chairperson of the Construction and Education Training Authority, Mr. Thabo Masombuga, to come and give us a brief word of welcome. Thabo? Hey, don't fall.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much. Comrade Professor Dr. JJ Tabane. Are you still the best part? Or you have abandoned that? Thank you very much for the opportunity. Co-presenter Ms. Dube, thank you very much for also welcoming us. Some years ago, I was asked by the Black Business Council in construction in the built environment to lead an institution called the Construction Sector Charter Council, which was primarily responsible for transformation and empowerment in construction. One of the conversations co-facilitator Jessica was that sometime construction has to change. We need to change the face of construction so that it has eloquent, beautiful, purpose-driven women like you, so that it's no longer becoming one of those hard, ugly, and angry industries. So we said we need a massive facilitation of young black women to enter the industry so that it change the face of construction. And I'm happy that in this room, we are now starting to see that happening. Thank you very much. I think let's give ourselves a round of applause. JJ, we thought as the construction sector that we cannot allow an important conversation such as this to take place without the necessary support and context, because as the Construction Education Training Authority, we are responsible for cultivating and growing the pipeline in construction to ensure that young men and women enter the field as both bricklayers, contractors, project managers, panel developers, architects and engineers. But we're not going to do that if construction sites are continuously disrupted. Because for us to train young people, they must both be in class and on site. Because you can't teach a potential swimmer how to swim in a bedroom. They have to be in the swimming pool and they have to be in the water to actually get to know the technique for swimming. Do you agree? So we then felt as a construction industry training authority that we will take advantage of this opportunity to partner with such conversations, because we really do want to see solutions to this particular ongoing phenomenon. But Minister, the conversations about construction industry business disruptions cannot be viewed or seen outside the context or in isolation to the generality of criminality in this country. They happened in the same way as you have disruptions in the transport sector. They happened in the same way as you have the zamazamas in the mining sector, disruptions and invasions in the mining sector. They happen everywhere, even in property. Now you get people to rent your property, and when they can no longer pay, you can no longer evict them unless you provide them an alternative accommodation. That's part and parcel of, because you may have bought that property as a commercial entity to generate income for your family. But then people come in, live in there. When you now want to evict them, they say, no, you are not going to evict us without a fight. That's exactly the same things that we see in construction invasions. And you're right, Prof. We have missed an opportunity as a country to find a solution to this phenomenon by labeling it. for an interview, and they asked me about this on behalf of the board that I represent. I said, and I still quote, that this phenomenon of demand for so-called 30% cannot be viewed outside the context of the so-called 30% empowerment allocation. What started as a genuine demand for local economic opportunities has subsequently evolved into something else. And I can tell you why that happened. Because the toxicity, impunity, inadequateness of our law enforcement, or lack of it, has cultivated the ground for this. Today, when you go to a police station to open a case, you have been harmed as a business owner, as a person. You are a complainant in a criminal charge. Guess what police do? They say, do you know the suspect? And when you tell them who the suspects are, Minister, guess what the police will do? They will pick up a phone, call the suspect, and say, Yamuna, there's a case against you here. Come and meet us. Let's have a conversation. We can make this case go away. You know what you need to do. And what is a suspect or a criminal likely to do? He will finance that machinery of that criminality. And that's exactly what is happening in business site invasion in this country. We have let the Gulf down. We have dropped the sense of urgency when we have to deal with issues of business protection. We have to deal with issues of family, now criminals walk into your house, take your phone, assault you, force you to make transfers to unknown business accounts. At gunpoint, at weaponry point, or whatever form of intimidation that will be. And when you open a case and you went to report these to the banks, you are offered no solution. If all this generality of criminality takes place unhindered, then we find ourselves, Professor, left on our own. And I can rest assure you, if we had an activist, progressive state machinery through its organs that ensured that it put in place measures through policy, legislative framework that ensures that economic transformation and empowerment take place, we would not have had incidents of people wanting to take the law into their own hands. Because when construction contractors demand economic opportunities, they are no different than a community that is tired of criminals ransacking their homes every day, and when we report them to the police, no consequences are made. What do? They take to the street like they did in Zandspruit, they take to the street like they did in Diepsloot, and they take to the streets like they will do in Alexandria. So in the absence of a strong, reinforced, committed, disciplined, corrupt-free state law enforcement machinery, we are not going to be able to see these things happening. Thank you very much. Welcome to this dialogue. We are here to offer solutions because it is in our interest as a training authority that our children receive better opportunity for training, that our children get proper mentorship for the various pathways that we cultivate and that we finance as a SETA through the levy paying, skills levy paying amounts that you as an industry contribute on a daily basis. Congratulations. Thank you very much for being here. Let's look for solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, and I hope that everybody was listening because as much as we are here to talk, it's also highly important that we listen. So thank you for engaging in your homework so well. We look forward to an evening of debate, engagement, commenting, questioning, and listening to everybody's titles that might be longer than the N2 Wild Coast Bridge that they are currently building in Lusikisiki. So enjoy yourselves, enjoy your starters, and as the starters are flowing, please talk to one another, not just about business deals and engaging, but also just about solutions to the construction mafia phenomenon in South Africa. So enjoy yourselves, talk, engage, and then we'll be ready for the next part of our program. Also, everyone, please take a moment to give a warm round of applause for Barry on the saxophone as he gives us something to warm our hearts and touch our spirits. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. One, two. All right. Okay, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed your starter. We're going to get on with the business of the day, and I want to talk to the minister briefly just to set the tone, and then we're going to have dinner. When we are having dinner, in your tables, all I'm asking you is, because as you can see, there are many tables here. I think there are about 12 tables here. Right? We just need to come out with 12 solutions. If we have failed, it means that each table must just come up with one solution. I know that these things can be solved by one thing, right? So that's what I'm going to ask you to do. So as we are talking with the minister, be thinking about that. We're going to talk with the minister a bit, then we go straight to dinner. And then at 8 o'clock, we're going live on ENCA on Power to Truth. Right? It's important that every time you finish eating, no clutter, no forks, no standing up and walking up and down. We're live on television with millions of people looking at you. Be at your best. Okay. Right? So during the broadcast, I'll come to your table at some point to say, what have you been discussing here? What are the solutions? This is after, of course, our panel has also had time to weigh in. So that's how the evening is going to go. So I'm going to start with the minister. Thank you once again very much for agreeing to be here. The sponsor was not going to agree if you didn't agree. He said, oh, we'll agree. Has the minister agreed?
Oh, thanks.
And they say yes.
Oh, great.
So I don't want to take your time for granted. I appreciate your time very much. But there's been criticism that you have sort of done what you call easy victory speech about arresting people of mafia and what have you. The DA say, no, this guy hasn't arrested people, etc. Just put us in the picture. Do you think you've got a handle on this thing as government? And what are the 2 or 3 things you can tell me that can give us a sense that even if there are difficulties and we can all see them, you've got a handle on this and you have a strategy, there's a big picture.
No, thanks. If we are to deal with this issue, and by the way, greetings to you, Professor, and let me greet all leaders in the industry, and also our officials and those who come from our entities. If we are to solve this problem, we must address it and address the causal factors. You've got 2 things that are affecting each other. The first one is crime and 2 forms of crime. And the second, or opposite to that, you have economic transformation, which should be led by infrastructure. Now, coming to the issue of crime, those who studied criminology will tell, you have what they call blue-collar crime and white-collar crime. And white-collar crime is sophisticated. It is what is done by corporate or government. It borders to what we call corruption. Blue-collar crime is where you've got violent crime and all of that, theft, violent, and all of that. So you have the 2. But these 2 impact on transformation and economic growth, which should be led through infrastructure. What we call construction mafia does represent a form of what you will call blue-collar crime. It is violent, it's happening physical, it affects people there. What we experienced post-2010, which we have characterized as collusion in the industry, represent what is called white-collar crime. So the 2 are affecting us, and they happen parallel to each other. It's just that the other one is low-lying, and the other one is visible. It is seen when people are in construction site, extortions, and all of that. And these affect transformation. If you understand the importance of infrastructure, once you put infrastructure, you are attracting investment into that area. But infrastructure on its own has multiple effects. It has its own value chain, and therefore it grows the economy. So what are the solutions? The first solution, and I would want to appreciate this platform, is to engage with the industry with a view of what you have called some kind of a social compact. We do have social compact in a form of economic master document that gives us per sector. I will tell you that the sugarcane, they've agreed on how to grow the sugarcane industry and all others. And therefore, those who are in the construction industry led by us as government, we need to agree on how to grow the construction as a sector. Construction, including all that is involved in the value chain. Grow it. In doing so, crime must be dealt with as crime. Transformation must be dealt with as transformation. And therefore, those who disrupt sites, those who extort, must be dealt with correctly through law enforcement agencies. Those who commit white-collar crime must also be dealt with. Whether you want to track from what we saw in 2010 or the recent Kusile. If you talk about Kusile, the delay was not small companies, big companies that were involved. So deal with the two so that you are not accused of bias, but also to lay a firm position for the future. So I think...
Can I interrupt there? But is that working? Because the issue or the approach of law and order, is it working? Because in my view, it may well be a symptom of exclusion, like I was saying. Do you find that could also be the case? Could it be also a symptom of the failure of black economic empowerment? In that people now feel excluded, and they feel that in order for them to be included, they have to force themselves in and say, hey, why are you constructing here without involving the local workforce, etc., etc. Isn't there a part of that? And if indeed that is a part of the element of the problem, how's your solution dealing with that?
The PEE is clear and the transformative policies are clear. The relationship between the small and big companies is always of manipulation. What have given rise to this phenomenon is failure to provide opportunities on the basis of clear processes. If we, the government, says, if you go to build a project that is above 30 million, subcontract, and then that 30% must be subcontracted. And what then becomes, have been a habit of big companies, is to ensure that they form their own subsidiaries, and then they will then subcontract to them. How do we then correct that? Do we allow people to go to disrupt sites? No. That will be a lawlessness, and we can't allow that lawlessness in the country. So we need to apply firm interventions on both. Deal with crime as crime, but be firm on transforming the economy so that...
Also the fraud, because if they don't outsource in real terms,
that's fraud.
Outsource to themselves, it's fraud.
It's fraud.
And would you say that that has not been dealt with firmly enough? In other words, we turn a blind eye to that, or you think, oh, well, it's their company, they can divide it into small little companies and do what they want.
Yes, we have not attended to it in a firm way, and we do need to do that. I think Competition Commission have tried, but we need to be very firm and punitive. It must be felt that it is wrong. But we cannot allow people to go from one side to the other, disrupting construction. And we need to be firm on that. Now, the first is to engage with the industry, find each other on what we need to do going forward. And then the second is to ensure that if we are to build the capacity of small companies, we enlist them, enroll them into clear program of empowerment including training and mentorship.
But is that
Now,
not happening?
that will be at a high level because those who are criminals, they don't want that. They don't want even to work. They want to pay money and leave. So we must separate those who want to be
I
empowered.
just want to get the percent, this 30%,
That
but,
is.
but not in order to work, in order just to have a share
They don't want a 30%
of work.
of work,
They want 30% of the profit.
of the profit
and go
then go away,
Yeah, that can't
which is
be.
wrong. It can't be allowed. Now, we need to ensure that those companies that are benefiting at a small level, we then help them to grow and become sustainable.
Okay, so let's now look at the bigger picture now, because I'm quite worried that at this point we're still talking about we're going to be training companies. So the question would be, what has happened in the last 29 years in as far as the construction sector is concerned? Do you find, I know that this portfolio is new in your books, but you've been there for what you're no longer new, so you can answer. Right? Did you find a situation where there was a little bit of inertia when it comes to empowering smaller construction companies to a point where they can't even be trusted? Because why are we always talking about outsourcing or not subcontracting when it comes to small companies? I mean, surely if the CDIB right, gives them the certificate to say you are level 9 or whatever, they should be able to build anything.
Well, there is transformation. It is happening, but there is monopoly as well.
Yeah.
So to be specific, you'll find that there are very few companies that are at grade 9 that are black-owned.
Yeah.
Most of the black-owned will be around grade 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And that the majority of those companies will be owned by males. Females are at the lowest of the ladder. So there is transformation. It's just that we need to be very pointed and aggressive in the transformation.
Who are not at the moment.
Well, I wouldn't want to say we are not, but we have to unleash infrastructure development as we did in 2010. But in this case, to balance infrastructure development with economic transformation.
What is the target? Because I just feel that it looks like that era of charters and targets, etc., it's sort of disappeared, you know, and people no longer even remember what are the targets, you know, because when the BE, I mean, it's 20 years now of BE, but when it started, we had said in 5 years, you must be at 10%. I think that was the financial sector. We said there must be at 10% must be in black hands. That was the lowest target of the financial sector. They didn't even meet that target. Let's forget.
Yeah.
What's the target on the construction side? You talk about the big companies that are not transforming. It's 30 years later. What is their target?
No,
They have
the
a
target
timeline.
is to ensure that the economy is fairly distributed, covering including the vulnerable sectors. And we have put even quotas for vulnerable sectors. And for those sectors, we talk about women, youth, people who are disabled.
Yeah.
The transformation is happening, but it's frustrated by number of regulations.
Yeah.
Among others is the public procurement framework, which would not allow, and it doesn't allow, localization. You cannot just issue an award on the basis of location, that you are in this city or in this municipality.
Yeah.
What are we doing to solve that? We are working with speed to finalize the public procurement bill.
Yeah.
And the public procurement bill, we believe, should be able to help us have set aside for women, for youth, for people with disability, but also allow state organs to localize.
We're still talking set aside now. I thought this is like an old debate, Minister, of 10 years ago.
I'm not sure whether you are familiar with the public procurement framework currently and what it permits or not. And I'm sure you would have...
It's like a moving target. You know, if you're in a BBC
Look.
summit of 10 years ago.
April 1, 2017.
Yeah.
Treasury introduced what is called Treasury regulations on procurement. And that was taken, challenged to court,
Yeah.
because some felt that it was unfairly discriminating.
Yes, yes, yes.
And those regulations were not going too far in terms of transforming, but were better off.
Yeah.
When the court made the judgment it made, then it resulted to a point where we need to start afresh. And I believe the public procurement, I'm hopeful that the public procurement bill will address that.
Yeah. Jessica, I want a burning comment. I know that you must all be shifting in your chairs. We're going to have 2 burning comments before we go to dinner. You can raise your hand, and Jessica, if you can go to that table over there. Quick comment, please don't make a long preamble. Just a quick comment from what the minister has said.
Hello? There we go, we're back online. So we're standing at table 7, and we are talking to you. Hi, sir. What is your name?
My name is Polisa Squebo. Actually, what I want to say to the minister, who are the construction mafias?
So what do you mean, who are the construction mafias? In other words, because in different provinces, there are different business forums, there are different, so what do you mean?
Are you questioning the term construction mafia?
Yes, because now, you know, when we observe this,
Yeah.
it's more targeted to black communities. That's where it is, because now I want the minister to actually clarify who is the construction mafias, so that we can start dialoguing now.
Yeah, okay. Minister, what's your understanding of who's the construction mafia?
Look, I don't know whether we'll want to define what is the mafia.
We put it in codes in our invitation, yeah.
The phrase or the term came as what was given and description. But from my analysis, I've spoken about those who are involved in the white-collar crime and the blue-collar crime.
Yeah.
And the two are crime. Crime is crime, and it must be dealt with as such. So as to who is the construction mafia or not, I don't believe for me I would want to spend time on that, because we must deal with both. And we must then advance transformation as such without any hindrance.
Is it a colloquial term, or are you saying that it's not black only, it's black and white? It's anybody who's committing crime, white or blue?
Yes, because if you talk about also white-collar crime, those were syndicates, they were colluding. That's what we were told. Yeah. And on that, you mean that they fix prices, and that is crime. Yeah. So the two should be classified as criminal activities.
Sorry, do you want to follow up on that question? Just follow up quick.
Okay.
You know, the reason that we are here today, we want to get clarity on who is the construction mafia before we can engage. Otherwise, we can't engage. If the minister can sit there and say he can't tell us who, and he doesn't want to spend time on that, it doesn't make sense, because he was on media telling us that he has arrested 600 people that are construction mafia. So we need to understand, because us as the federation and the forums, we believe that big business is the construction mafia. So we need him to explain it to us as if we are 4-year-olds, because we need.
Yeah. Sorry.
What we need to understand, Minister, is that I don't want to come in here and live the same. You must change me and convince me that there is construction mafia and you have arrested 600 of them. That is what we need. Thank you.
Okay. We've also got another comment here, table 1.
Okay, let's take another comment.
Okay, can I hold? You hold for me, okay. Hello, my name is Dr. Mteni Chwaku. I'm the MMC for Public Safety in the city of Johannesburg. I was hijacked this meeting. Okay, I think that let us put things clear. We must not pussyfoot around the issues. Right, I think that, Minister, let us look in terms of when I was in your committee in the public safety, we found that many black companies are not getting jobs. In the construction sector, black people are not playing any role. And if man say Obama regulation, the CIDB, and all these ones, they've made it, they've locked them to a point where they are frustrated. In Sandral, many people who are getting jobs is like white companies. And before I go to a political economy, because I don't agree with the tender system, I think that it must be done away. We must have a construction company and roads and all that. But here in this forum, what we identified in the committee was that many black people, the black companies, are not taking part in that. And I want to take maybe, Minister, whether you must do a radical transformation, a radical one, or else they are going to take this thing into their own hands. And then another one that Nancy Balega, the issue of the, what they do is that, and Sandral and others, they get into that trap. You get sweetened by the big Mario Roberts and all these big companies that they are going to be training people in the local space. They turn against them. They turn against them, and when they go to company, they go to departments, no one is saying anything. I think that we should be open. And then that's what happens. And then at the end, even La Payana, where you call it, because I was listening to the construction mafia, you said it's people marching. But those are our people who are marching there. But these black people, we've got Maria and Roberts, which are constructing a road, but you're not empowering us. And the government knew that they are going to do a construction, a building of a road or whatever infrastructure. They've never come to the community and trained them. Now, people are being imported somewhere. And I tell you right now, these white construction companies are very arrogant, extremely arrogant, and they work with the officials of it, like the Department of Transport, all of that. I think that we should come out here, we should come out clear in terms of what is going to happen. And the resolution that they're going to be talking here, we must not have a talk show. These construction companies, which are there are, because there are many black companies which have gone under, Minister. There are some of them I know they've gone under. And the government must do something about it now. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
So what must...
Okay, Minister,
another comment or?
No, sorry, we're going to have dinner now, but Minister, I just want you to close.
Can I comment on that too?
You can comment, and then we're going to, after dinner, we will come back to the hot seat.
No, thanks. Yeah. Let me comment on these two issues. I think there is a way forward that we agree that the mafia tendencies are there in the construction sector. The problem we want is to label. And those who are in the big business will say those who want empowerment are mafias. Those who want empowerment will say the mafias are the big business. And of course, as I started, the two, in some cases, engage on criminal activities. Yeah. So we must put aside, deal with those criminal activities. But then the process must be, how do we address the issue of empowerment in a fair and a genuine way? Yeah. The first thing that we are doing as the department is to build the capacity in the department for facilitation. If there will be a project, let's put all people together, the stakeholders in that locality. They must understand the project, its value, the process of implementation. That is the first. The second, which through the CIDP and the Council for Built Environment, we want to establish the Ombudsman. The Ombudsman should be the office that oversees the functioning of the industry as a whole. If big business will continue to sweeten small companies, abuse them, there must be an ombudsman that then enforce regulations, penalize those big companies. And I think we will agree that, I'll agree with the feeling that says, from the 2010 experience, the big companies are also continuing to exploit small companies. So we need to address these two issues.
Where the 600 people were arrested?
Let me start by saying, what did we do in 2010 case? Yeah. In the 2010 case, they were penalized by competition commission. Yeah. Now they come and then they disrupt.
Yeah.
More than 600 then get arrested.
Yeah.
And
This is
I
something
don't
that-
know,
that is
wait.
small fry.
I don't know whether BPF is part of that. I don't believe so. And those who disrupt must be dealt with as such.
Yeah.
But forums that are genuinely composed of entrepreneurs who want to participate in the industry must be supported.
All right. Let's give a round of applause to the minister. Okay. We're going to have dinner, and then the minister is going to come back. We'll continue a little bit as we welcome the viewers from home.